Greetings, class. Chris Haskins here with another flip tip for you. As usual, we like to give you our mission statement, which is to uplift the financial literacy of my fellow mankind through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Today, I've got a good training for you today. Class is in session. How to predict your financial future. How to predict your financial future. What we're going to be breaking down today is renting versus buying. Prayerfully, you're either a homeowner now or you will be one in the near future. I've got to show you some numbers to get up in your mind. I know you want me to give you some moving parts of what we call the nuts and bolts of, or Greg Peniel calls it the moving parts of real estate. But first, before I get to the moving parts, some video trainings have to be mental so I can paint the picture of what you have in front of you. And today, how we're going to predict your financial future is show you what money you're spending renting versus buying. Now, I'm talking in generalities in this training, so don't email me or send comments about different strategies out there, because I know there are probably more strategies that I know about, but this one has worked for me. It is working for me, so I know this one because it applies to my life. So first, let's go over some data to break down the the misconceptions that people have about the income in America. Let's look at the median household income in the United States. I'm going to bring this up for you. I got this right from the Census Bureau. Let's just look from 1986. 1986, the median household income was $52,000, right? This is the median household income. This is going to scare you. Hopefully, it won't scare you because you're way above this. But if you're living in this world, this might shake you up a little bit, as it did me many years when somebody took me to this part of the game. What's nervous about this, the median household income in 1986 was 52. In 2016, the median household income is 59,000. So we went 86, 96, 30 years. America is only making $7,000 more per household than we did back in 1986. It's just scary to me. I don't like to see my countrymen living like that. $7,000 more. And this is on the generally speaking. Now let's look at the price of houses. Now let's take the same years, 1986, right around here. 1986, the average, this is the median sales price of houses sold in the United States is $97,000. Let's look at 2016. The median household price is $318. Let's just say $300,000. So we've gone up $200,000 in price homes, but we've only gone up $7,000 in income. How in the hell does this work? What is this equation, or what plan have people signed up for to subscribe to this crap? I do not like it. Therefore, my mission gets even stronger. We need to be more financially literate so we can either just afford to live in the house that we want to live in, right? So I wanted to break it down. Let's go even farther, because as I told you, my gift is to be able to break things down and make it believable for you. I had to break this down into the median household income. Let's just go to black people. I gotta speak for my people. my people, black people. Let's go to 1986 here, which is right around here. Median black household income, $30,000, 1986. My poor black people. Oh my goodness, oh my God. Let me read that. The black household income was $30,000. 2000, let's just go back here, 2016. Well, this doesn't even go that high. We go to 2013. The black median household income was $34,000. So we only went up $4,000. So from 1986 to 2016, what's that, 96? 30 years. My black family is only making $3,000 more, as opposed to the houses are $200,000 more. We got to get my people out of this slump, out of this problem of being educated from the past generation. Things are changing. Stuff is changing every day. Real estate is global. So I've broken that down for you. Good gracious, yeah. I mean, you can see Hispanics, they've gone up 1986, 06, they've gone up. What is that? 10,000? No, let's see, 86. They're at 37,000. Now they're at 40,000. So they've gone up only 4,000 too. But they've come into our economy. The Hispanics have come into our economy. Blacks have been here for 400 years. Now let's look at the white income. White is 52 and now they're at 58. So they're still in the same boat. They just make more money. Whites are making more money than blacks. All right. So that's nothing new. All right. So let's get to this. My timeline. I like to talk about life. Life doesn't happen. Well, it does happen daily, but you have to look at your life monthly and yearly to build things. To build things, it takes time. To build a house, to build any type of appliance, to build a business takes time. Even human life takes 9 months to build, right? So let's talk about our timeline here. This is what was sobering to me. And luckily somebody hit me to this back when I was in college, back in 1996, I would say. I was a barber. Somebody broke this down for me. Not quite like this, but something like this. But let's get started. So 0 to 24 years of year. This is your years here. Billy's tripping as usual. 0 to 24, we're learning. All we're doing in our lives are trying to learn, try to figure out this thing. What's up, what's down, left, right. Who are the people around us? What's our surrounding? What do we like to do? Who do we want to be with? Possibly. Do we want to stay in college? Do we want to leave college? Do we want to work a job? We don't know. Between 0 and 24, we're learning. We don't know anything, right? We're still trying to adapt to our environment. We have not figured out how to create our environment yet. Generally speaking, yes, there are people that do this at 20, 18, yes. And are there people that start at 26, 27, 28, 30? Yes. So 0 to 24, we're learning. 25 to 65, these are our working years, right? These are our standard, or generally speaking, working years. This is where I want to focus on. Steve Harvey says you're born 1 year, you die 1 year. But the main thing that's important is this dash. This dash right here. What did you do during that dash? And I get about a call, I would say once a week, I get a call or an email from some male, typically a male around 40, 45 years old. They say, Chris, I've been working all my life. I have nothing to show for it regarding assets. My net worth is negative because I owe more on the car loan. I've been renting X amount of years, or I own a house that's over leveraged. I've been working, I make good money every year, but I have no assets, no savings to show for it because they've been spending all that they earn. They've been spending all that they earn. And that is one of the rules, George Clason in The Richest Man in Babylon, that we have to abide by. You cannot spend all you earn. Can't spend all you make. So let's talk about these 40 years here. And then at the end of our video, the first part of the video is going to be these working years, how it relates to buying versus renting. At the end, it's going to blow your mind how I'm going to show you how much money we're going to predict your future, how much money you're going to spend on these last 20 years here. And you might even live to 100, I don't know. Or you could die early, who knows? All right, you're born here. Now, these working years, you buy something, let's say you buy something. Now, we're at the 40 years here, let's talk about this dash. You buy your property, and I have to do, once again, we're doing rent versus own. I have to do generalities here because some people they buy a house and they have a $300,000, $400,000 loan. Some people buy a house, they might have a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 loan. So I wanted to make it easy and get my monthly payments at $1,000. So the reason I'm doing this chart, why? Because you're going to spend money on living somewhere. You're going to spend money living somewhere. I'm boiling this down to the basics of existence, basics of your everyday living, because I don't want you to think that your financial future depends on you being a super fast wheeler and dealer real estate investor or somebody that does 100 deals a year, right? You boil this down to what you're already doing every day. So buying a house in this column versus renting, buying versus renting. So let's say we buy a house, we got a loan for $150,000. Our loan payment is $1,000 a month on a 30-year mortgage. That's based on 5%, which isn't too bad. I already did the numbers. As a matter of fact, let's flash this up on the screen for you. The amortization on a $150,000 loan payment, the principal and interest is roughly $800. Taxes, insurance, which you can't get rid of that. You're going to pay that till you die. Taxes and insurance, roughly going to be $200 a month, totaling $1,000 a month. In contrast, if you're renting, let's say your rent is $1,000 a month. I know you probably pay more than that wherever you live. You're probably paying $13, $14, $15. I talked to a coaching client in Ohio. His rent is $700 a month, and he said he lives in an upscale place. So I thought that was pretty cool. But generally speaking, let's say $1,000 a month. I think that's a fair number, and it makes it easier on me presenting to you. So $1,000 a month renting, $1,000 a month buying. Can you agree with me? That makes it easy. Bam, $12,000 a year, right? So we've got 30-year mortgage. 30-year mortgage at 360 payments. 360 payments are going to be $360,000 you're going to pay in 30 years. Now, I know, Chris, we said we're talking about 40 years working here. I'm going to get to that. You got to follow me here. Good God, let me work it. Please let me work it for you so you can see the picture here. I'm painting the picture for me. Let me work for you. Let me paint it for you. So we got 360 payments at $1,000 a month equal $360,000 out of your pocket, period. You know that's coming out of your pocket if you pay your mortgage off in 30 years. Now, yes, we are going to apply more principal over the years. We're going to make extra principal payments, but that's not what this video is about. Remember, I want to boil this down to the basics, to where you're just living, not doing anything extra. Now, if we are renting, we have 30 years on our rental property, right? We have no repairs, but we still end up spending in 30 years. Is that right? Yeah. $1,000 a month. $12,000 a year. $12,000 a year. We're still gonna have that same 360 coming out of our pockets, right? $1,000 a month either way, still $360. Over here, your money has paid down the asset. You own the asset free and clear. Your money has literally transformed into ownership of the asset. Over here, your money, yes, has given you a place to live and grow your family, but you have no asset at the end of that. That's where the magic comes in, how we can predict your financial future. Now, so far we're right here, right? We've worked 30 years. Chris, I've been a good boy and girl, paid down the loan. I owe my house free and clear, but I'm not going to be naive and neglect the fact that you've had to maintain your property, right? So let's say you put another 40, 50,000 for our example here. I need to make it easy for me for time constraints. And let's say you put $40,000 in your property over the course of 30 years. You put a new roof on it, you put a new kitchen, updated the bathroom, little stuff. Might be a little more than that, could be less depending on who you are. So over the, over the 30 years, over that 30 years, you spent $400,000. Over that 30 years, and you over here, you on owning, you spent roughly $400, but in renting, you spent $360. So on the renting side, you saved $40,000 because you didn't have to do any repairs. Hope you got me. Let me repeat that. Ownership, you got to do repairs, $40,000. Renting, you have no repairs, so you save that $40,000, so you're still at $360, right? But to retirement, we still have, what do we have left? We've got 10 more years. I'm sorry, right here. For retirement, before we get to our 65, let's just say we're going to retire at 65. We got 10 more years, right? 10 more years of zero mortgage payments. You have no mortgage payments or no monthly outgo for your resident. And this is presuming you live in one house, or you could trade up. That's presuming you're paying off whatever house you're living in. I'm not saying you got to stay in the same house for your whole life, because I can't stay in the same house for a few years. All right. So 10 years left. We paid this off 30 years. We still got 40 working years, right? Let me bring you up to speed. 40 working years. You've paid your mortgage off in 30. We still got 10 years left in our working life, right? So let's do it like this. 30 years, 60,000. You got 10 years left in your working life, right? From here to there before you get to retirement. The next 10 years, you still have the $1,000 a month payment going out. That's going to be $12,000 a year. So that's adding on $120,000 to your outgo for the next 10 years. Whereas here, you got zero. You got zero outgo, guys. Zero outgo. If that is not, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So on this side, we spent $400,000 for the 40 years. Well, let's say we had some more repairs for the next 10 years. But on this side, we spent the 30 years here, and we had to live. You still got to live for another 10 years after you pay the mortgage off here. So we got another 120. That's totaling 480. I hope you got me here. This is your 40-year work. This is your 40-year working lifespan here. 30 years, 360. 10 years, 120 equals 480. I'm hoping you're getting that. Good God, I hope you can see these numbers here. I'm praying that you do. 30 30 years working, 30 years plus 10 years, that's 40 total. You're paying rent for 30, and then you're paying rent for 10, that's 120,000, right? Because that's 10 more years at $1,000 a month. So you got 480 outgo. Where over here, we paid your mortgage off in 30 years. You had some repairs, 400,000. The next 10 years are free. So over here, renting, you're spending $80,000 more. All right. You're spending $80,000 more just in renting for that 40-year work lifespan. All right. So let's move forward to our retirement, which is 65 to 85. Good God, you still got to live for another 20 years. Are some people going to move on to the afterlife at 60 years old, 50 and 40? Yes. One of my mentors moved on to the afterlife at 50. Devastating, devastating. God rest his soul, Mike Cheatwood. Hope you're smiling down on me, my brother. Are some people going to move on to the afterlife at 70? Yes. So we're looking at generalities here, guys. All right. So let's get to our retirement. 65 to 80. Let's get to our retirement here. Our retirement consists of 20 years. Generally speaking, we got 20 years left in life. So let me move on with that. And this is all in our last month's newsletter. Let me rewind that. So we erase that. So we got, oh yeah, we still got to keep that. We paid our mortgage off. Oh yeah, there is no more $1,000 a month. There is no more $1,000 a month, right? So we retire. We bought our house. That $50,000 loan is gone. So we've got zero monthly payment. Follow me now. Our rent, if we didn't pay our house off, we still got what? $1,000 a month. So like we say we live another 20 years, right? You got to live somewhere. You have to live somewhere. You're going to pay to live somewhere, right? Whether it's, and even if you move into a assisted living facility, you got to pay that too. Let's say it's $1,000. I'm following my guide here. This came out I did our article for our last newsletter. And retire, right? You want to retire here and live off of whatever you built right here. Hopefully you build an empire of 10, 20 houses, prayerfully. So we got 20 years, $1,000 a month. That's another, what is that? 12,000 a year. That's 240,000. Good God, those numbers are big. These numbers are big. We got 240,000 for the next 20, because that's 12,000 a year, right? Times 10 years will be 120. So we've got another 240K just in these last years right here, just in living expenses there. But don't forget, we still spent 80K more than over here, right? We spent 80,000 more. So let's carry that 80,000 over here. 0, 8, and 4 is 12. Carry the 1. I hope these numbers, they get staggering as life goes. Hence the phone calls that I get from friends and colleagues talking about they've been working and they don't have anything to show for it. Talk about passing away here, moving on to the afterlife, and just leaving nothing for your family and your children's children. Yes, you could invest in insurance policies, stocks, mutual funds, or index funds, stuff like that, which I have no idea how that works. But this is what I know has worked for me. And just imagine if you had this times 10. You got rent, and then you got rents coming in, and don't forget, you still own the house, which was worth 150K when you bought it, right? And if real estate does anything like it's done since the beginning of time, this house will probably be worth 300K. By the time you want to sell it, you can pull that money out if you were to need it or leverage it to do something else. But so your retirement years, you got 20 years left, $1,000 a month, $240,000 you're spending just to continue living before you move on to the afterlife. Will some people live to 90 years old? Yes. How can I predict your financial future? Because you're spending the $320,000 more than me. Just by renting and not owning your house. Good God, I hope I'm talking to somebody here. I know I'm talking to somebody, but I do not know who it is. I hope it's somebody that's going to do this. So if you're renting, be mindful The money that you're putting out, where is it going? Is it building? When you pay that rent, think about the person receiving it. Is it building their empire, or are you building your own empire over here on this side? Now, let's talk about income. Income, because when you retire, most people, generally speaking, are looking for Social Security. Me, I have no problem saying that I'm not even thinking about Social Security when I retire. It's not even on my radar, because I plan on having my real estate. It's my plan. God could change that. The thing that I'm very empathetic toward is people that have sickness in their lives or in their family, people that have mental health issues. I'm sincerely empathetic towards that, because I know that can change your financial future quickly and instantly. I remember one lady was telling me how her mother caught some flesh-eating disease and ate her whole stomach out. I've heard stories from A to Z. I don't wish that on anybody, but it can change your financial future. But if you want to predict it, let's presume that everything goes well, you're healthy till your older years. If you're renting, you're spending $320,000 more than if you're owning, because once you pay this off, you're done. No more monthly outgo. You could take that money and spend it somewhere else. And some people might say, well, what about the tax break from the interest on the property? If you're investing in real estate for tax breaks, you might need to check your philosophy in general, because you don't want to work for the government every day anyway. You don't want to do something strictly for the government. Tax breaks are simply the icing on the cake. But I hope I've been able to paint a good picture for you and show you why and how I can predict your financial future. I mean, could you imagine $320,000 more? You own your house, and then when you move on to the afterlife, you leave this house for your children, right? And then they can do whatever they want with it. They'll probably go screw it up or do something, leverage it to the hill, then lose it. I don't know. Hopefully they won't, right? Hopefully they won't. Okay, that's our training for today. I can predict your financial future based on whether you're a renter or an owner. Subscribe to my channel, guys. I want to uplift as many people's financial literacy as I can. We are passing 10,000 subscribers. I started off, it was slow at the beginning, but praise God, I'm able to pour into your soul with knowledge like this that I didn't create. I'm a culminator. I'm not an innovator. All I do is take what's already out there and put it all together, boil it down for you, to bring it to you so you can understand it. My gift is being able to make things real simple. Chris Haskins with the Real Estate Roundup below. Comment below what you think about my diagram or what I can do to add to it for future videos. And if you need consultations or what you would like to invest with me, shoot me an email. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.